Police in Thailand have arrested a teenage suspected gunman after a deadly shooting at an upscale shopping centre in Bangkok.
Former Soviet satellite Armenia has voted to join the International Criminal Court, which has indicted Russian President Vladimir Putin for war crimes. One person has died after a lone shooter opened fire in a luxury shopping mall in Thailand's capital city. The emergency services said 6 people were treated for injuries. Social media videos showed people running out of the building in Bangkok. A 14-year-old suspect was arrested. Police have not said what appears to have motivated the attack.
Russian occupation officials continue to deport Ukrainian children to Russia and Russia-controlled occupied territories under the guise of educational trips. Moscow-appointed Zaporizhzhia region occupation governor Yevgeny Balitsky said that Russian Ministry of Culture transported over 300 Ukrainian school children from occupied Zaporizhzhia region to Moscow and St. Petersburg to, quote, educate them about Russian culture. Balitsky stated that more than 2,500 Ukrainian school children from occupied Zaporizhzhia region in total will participate in these programs. A few days earlier, Russian Yamal-Nenets Autonomous Okrug Governor Dmitry Artyukhov stated that the government is launching a 3-year program that will bring children from occupied Volnovaha here in Donetsk region to Russia to visit cultural heritage centers in Moscow, St. Petersburg and Nizhny Novgorod. Artyukhov stated that 500 Ukrainian children will participate in the program this autumn. According to Ukraine's National Information Bureau, over 19,500 children have been abducted or forcibly deported to Russia since its full-scale invasion of Ukraine began in February 2022. However, officials fear that the real figure is actually much higher, as deported Ukrainian children, including orphans, have little means to declare themselves missing or make contact with their relatives in Ukraine. The Russian Federation argues that some 744,000 children from Ukraine are now living in Russia or Russian-held occupied territories. They were often deported under the pretext of evacuation, treatment, vacation or rehabilitation trip.
Armenia's parliament has voted to join the International Criminal Court, a move that's caused anger in Moscow and which has direct consequences for Russia's president. In March, the ICC indicted Vladimir Putin for abducting thousands of Ukrainian children. It means he can be arrested under warrant in any country that's signed up to the Rome Statute, the international agreement under which the ICC was formed. As a result, Putin's been absent from international summits, including August's gathering of the BRICS countries in South Africa. Putin's only input to the economic bloc's debates was conducted through video conference calls. Armenia, a former Soviet satellite country, said it had joined the ICC in the light of Azerbaijan's forceful seizure of Nagorno-Karabakh. The Azeris seized control under the noses of Russian peacekeeping forces.
The United Nations Children's Fund says more than 100,000 people from Nagorno-Karabakh, including some 30,000 children, have fled into Armenia, which is struggling to accommodate them. UNICEF is providing humanitarian aid to ensure displaced children and families are cared for in centers like this one in the city of Goris, not far from the border. A 9-month Azerbaijani blockade of the only road linking Nagorno-Karabakh with Armenia has left many children malnourished.
Three scientists have won the Nobel Prize in Physics for the work documenting how electrons move around atoms. The experiments conducted by Pierre Agostoni, Franz Krauss, and Anne Lewillier will help us better understand our universe. But there is also hope they will lead to more practical applications, such as better electronics and disease diagnoses.
Yes, this year's Nobel Prize in Physics is about science at the time scale of attoseconds. And what you see here is an attosecond related to 1 second, which is approximately a heartbeat. And the ratio of 1 second to an attosecond is the same as the ratio of the age of the universe expressed in seconds to 1 second. We are now in the world of electrons.
Anne Lhuillier is only the 5th woman to receive a Nobel Prize in Physics, which comes with a cash prize of around €1 million.
The Italian island of Lampedusa is marking a decade since a major shipwreck off its coast. More than 360 people lost their lives in the early morning of October 3rd, 2013.
Several events have been organised on the island ahead of today's ceremony that have been attended by both Italian and European students, representatives of international organisations and associations. And today a march has been organised that will be followed by a wreath of flowers that will be thrown at sea. Now, the aim of the 3rd of October Committee, a charity that has been organising the event every year since 2013, is to remember those who died in 2013, but also each and every person who has died trying to cross the Mediterranean in the past 10 years. 27,000 people have died in the attempt of crossing the Mediterranean in the past 10 years. And the aim really is to try and answer one simple question: how is it possible that 10 years on shipwrecks still occur and that so many people die as a result of that? And this has been really the main theme of this year's commemoration. Now, the event has been particularly significant as well, given that the share of migrant arrivals on the island has increased compared to previous years, and that Lampedusa has indeed become the main point of arrival for migrants who try to reach Europe. Giorgio Orlandi for Euronews in Rome.
Germany's border with Poland. New checks on those travelling between the two countries were introduced in the wake of the so-called visa scandal in the Polish government, where allegations of corruption have been made over the issuing of European visas. Today's the deadline for Poland to explain irregularities in its visa issuing procedures in front of the European Commission. Allegations the country's Central Anti-Corruption Bureau has been investigating since July 2022. The Polish government's provided limited information on the ongoing investigation, but journalists have discovered new irregularities related to intermediation in the visa application process.
Oddaliśmy pobieranie wniosków wizowych, a i pewnie Hindusi mówią częściową weryfikację, zewnętrznej firmie. Te osoby często nie trafiały, czy w ogóle nie trafiały przed oblicze konsula, czy innych pracowników konsulatu, czy ambasady. Nie chodziło o to, że ktoś konkretnie z tej firmy był wskazany, że brał pod stołem pieniądze, natomiast żeby dostać się do VOS na spotkanie, żeby złożyć dokumenty wizowe, w Indiach trzeba było płacić łapówkę, tak mówią moje źródła, o równowartości około 800 €. Firma w korespondencji ze mną przyznaje, że wiedziała o takim procederze korupcyjnym i że zawsze wszystkie tego typu historie zgłaszała organom ścigania.
VFS Global works with the Polish government and warns against dishonest, unverified intermediaries. It denies it's been accused of wrongdoing in Poland.
We just deal with the administrative tasks, checking the forms, etc. We don't get involved in visa decision-making processes. At no time since we've been working for the Polish government have any of our members of staff been arrested or investigated for any wrongdoing related to Poland visa services. There was an incident recently where some members of our staff have been accused of malpractice. That is for an operation related to another client government, and the moment we discovered these allegations, we immediately informed the local police.
The visa scandal, but also the rising numbers of unregistered crossings on immigration routes, whether through Russia and Belarus or the Balkans, have made all Polish borders more closely monitored recently.
Wzmocniliśmy nasze kontrole na odcinku słowackim, na czeskim. Mamy też nieco wzmocnione na odcinku litewskim. I oczywiście prowadzimy takie kontrole również przy granicy z Niemcami, również we wspólnych patrolach ze służbami niemieckimi.
The subject of migration is one of the key themes of the election campaign. The approach to the issue and solutions proposed by politicians will have a big impact on how Poles will vote in less than 2 weeks' time. Magdalena Hodownik for Euronews from Słubice.
The United Nations has approved sending a security mission to Haiti. The aid mission was requested last year by its government and the vote passed with 13 members in favor. Russia and China abstained. It aims to help Haitian authorities control an ongoing wave of violence between armed groups, which has already led to more than 3,000 murders this year alone and more than 1,500 kidnappings. The UN mission, which will be led by Kenya, is authorized to take all necessary measures to disarm the criminal groups.
Cherry blossoms in Paris. It's a sight that would have inspired awe and wonder. They just bloomed 6 months earlier. But this beautiful sight is now seen as an ominous warning.
Ce qui est vraiment étonnant, c'est qu'un arbre qui normalement fait ses fleurs au mois d'avril fasse une deuxième floraison, ou qu'un cerisier fasse une deuxième floraison. Moi, je ne savais même pas que ça existait, j'avais jamais vu ça.
Further north, temperatures reached 27 degrees Celsius on Monday, which is impacting fruit trees and the farmers who planted them.
On voit une excroissance de pousses, alors que ça s'était arrêté de pousser au mois d'août. Et puis là, on voit qu'il y a un départ de pousses qui est d'une dizaine de centimètres. Le risque pour l'arbre, c'est qu'il se mette à fleurir très rapidement et pas à la bonne période. Et là, moi, je pourrais pas avoir de récolte.
These events are a consequence of unusually high temperatures, and France is not alone. Austria, Germany, Poland, and Switzerland also recorded their hottest September on record. 2023 is also slotted to become the warmest in human history as climate change accelerates.